Greetings, guys, girls, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. Today, I wanted to sit down and do something that we haven't done in a really long time, which is going through the r/just neckbeard things subreddit. I initially wanted to do r/nice guys, but there's like a Reddit strike thing happening at the moment, so r/nice guys currently does not exist. So this is the second best thing, and I actually think I've only gone through this Reddit once, and it was like 2 years ago. So it'll be interesting to see what they've been up to. Effectively, it's kind of the same thing. Like r/nice guys, just neckbeard things, and incel tiers. There's kind of a blurry line between what differentiates each. A lot of the posts are posted in 2 or more of these Reddits. So it's along the same sort of veins. It's a great name. I prefer this name. Just neckbeard things. That's hilarious. It's brilliant. I love it. So yeah, today we're going to be just laughing at some terrifying, terrible men, because that's always a jolly good time, right? But before we get into it, I would like to say a massive thank you to today's patron of the day, Melinda. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope that you enjoy this video. If you would like to go on Patreon, you go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the link in the description. It starts at as little as £1 a month, and it means a lot, so thank you. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get started. Guy tips. A guy's guide to female body language. A girl wearing headphones and sunglasses. I'm available for a conversation. A girl who looks quite uncomfortable. I'm having a great time talking to you. A girl who looks super done with the conversation. Please tell me more. I am very interested. Another girl who looks super done with the conversation. I'm glad you joined the conversation I was having. A girl who is texting on her phone. I am available for a conversation. A girl who looks super pissed off. I would love to hear about your opinions. A girl, pulling the middle finger. I'm playing hard to get. A girl with a taser. I'm playing hard to get. And a girl straight up walking away. I'm a huge bitch and probably a lesbian anyway. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of men do love to read body language like this. No matter what we do, no matter how we exist, no matter how bad we are trying to tell someone to leave us alone, they'll be like, no, yeah, I'm the most interesting person in the world right now. They definitely want to talk to me, and they definitely want to hear my opinions, and they definitely will want to hook up with me. Yeah. No, seems pretty accurate. The amount of men who just have the straight audacity and believe that they are entitled to your time is kind of ridiculous. They're like, she should be so lucky to talk to me. I am the best thing ever. And if she doesn't like me, then there's obviously something wrong with her. It's like, oh bro, oh my guy, I don't like you because you interrupted me when I clearly did not want to speak to anyone. This is another comic. And it is a man and a woman in bed that says, I consent. And then a third man is like, I don't. And the woman says, and who are you? And he is holding gender reveal balloons that say, congrats, it's a boy. And he says, the man who would have married you. And then the girl is crying and reaching out to him as he disappears. And this is one of the funniest images I've ever seen. This is so funny. I just don't understand why people have such a problem with other people having a sexual history at all. It doesn't matter, bro. If she is hooking up with someone and they are both consenting people, there is nothing wrong with that at all. And the fact that you are we were soulmates, we were supposed to be together, but then you had sex with someone who wasn't me, even though you don't even know who I am, so we're not even soulmates anymore. Then you clearly weren't meant to be together anyway, were you? If you aren't going to date me because of my sexual history, then you're not someone I have any interest in anyway. I'm not dating someone who thinks that women have a sexual expiry kind of thing, right? If you don't think women are allowed to have the freedom to sleep with whoever they want, then you're not someone I want in my life. And I think that most of the women who are having casual sex also don't really want you in their life either. So they're not missing out. You potentially are. because you are crossing out women for a superficial reason. But, you know, that's your loss, not mine. It was so funny being like, I'm too good for you. You don't even deserve me because you're hooking up with this man. It's like, okay, bye. This is a dating profile for someone looking for short-term fun. I am probably better than you and out of your league. Therefore, you will submit to daddy or go away from me. 2. I don't negotiate or ever listen to women. I am your superior and what I say goes. I'm not your little soft boyfriend. You will respect me. 3. You will put me on the pedestal. I don't care whether you perceive me as toxic or a fuckboy. 4. I don't care about your zodiac sign or your opinion. I don't care about what you want or say. I will always put myself and my purpose first. The capitalization of this entire bio is like giving me a headache. But that aside, I have to believe this is a joke, right? Like, they sat down and they wrote this as an experiment to see how many people actually read bios and how many people just swipe on photos, right? Like, it has to be a joke. This isn't serious. However, at the same time, no one who is actually joking writes this. They're like, I'm going to write it as a joke. But you had the thought in your brain. And if you're writing it even as a joke to be like, you don't read bios, see, you're still doing it to manipulate women. And so therefore still hold these beliefs to an extent. So like, even if you don't mean this in its entirety, you don't not mean it, because you're still going out of your way to manipulate women and have a gotcha moment and are like, I'm smarter than you, women are stupid. Blah, blah, blah. So like, whoa. Whoa. The one thing I admire about bios like this, though, is that, like, they're putting it out there so that you don't waste your time on dates with these type of people. Like, I'm seeing this and I'm immediately swiping left because I want absolutely nothing to do with you. Imagine if this is something they thought and didn't put in their bio, and then you matched with them, and then you have to go out on a date with this person. Like, that would be awful. So as horrible and awful and gross as it is, they're saving us a lot of time and effort, you know? Like, they're putting it out there, but they're not going to get any matches, and then they're going to call women superficial. And it's like, they write this stuff and they're like, I can't believe women don't like me. Women are also shallow. Why do women hate me? Fuck women. It's like, well, maybe it's because you don't view them as people. You don't view women as people, so therefore we don't particularly want to date you. It's really not a difficult, like, problem to solve. I can't fucking believe this anymore. I'm fed up with it all. I'm going to fucking rope myself. I literally crawled my way out of inceldom with my bare hands, started going to the gym, finally got a job for once. I was making friends and talking to girls, and I was finally fucking close to being a Chad for once. I fucked up and told one fucking girl at work about my rape fantasy during happy hour. Just a fantasy, not even that I would ever do it. Never trust a fucking roastie, I guess, because she told HR and now I'm being fucking let go. I have to pack up my desk today. I fucking hate everything. I'm going to kill myself, and it's this random chick's fault. She gets to ruin my entire fucking life and there's no consequences. I hate all femoids. If you're female and you're reading this, kill yourself. You told a female co-worker that you had fantasies about assaulting her or some woman, and then were upset when that made her uncomfortable and feel scared. Like, you were comfortable telling us, like, effective, like, stranger that you had fantasies about attacking and assaulting someone. And then you're like, how dare she ruin my life? Obviously you got fired because people now feel unsafe with you there. Like, my God, how do you not see that as a problem? And then to go on and say you hate all women and call them femoids is like, I don't think it was something you were never gonna do. I think that you just don't want to acknowledge what assault actually is, and you'll paint it off as something else. Like, she was right to be scared. I think if anyone ever said that to me, I would be fucking shit scared. I'm glad that you got fired. Sometimes HR doesn't do anything about those sorts of things, so I'm glad that they did. I hope you don't find another job. And I hope that you have a miserable life. And I hope that you stay away from women all women at all costs. Holy shit, what the fuck? Oh my god. It's so wild how someone can think like this and think that they're in the right. She ruined my life. You borderline threatened her. So, no, you kind of deserved it, actually. Most women under 30 today have been raised to do nothing in the house. They're unable to cook, clean, or properly care for a man. They're unable to do laundry without shrinking the clothes. They don't understand you're supposed to wake up before the man does so you can prepare coffee, etc. Someone would do well to create a how-to course on YouTube teaching the basics of womanhood to the younger generation that clearly hasn't been housebroken. My god. Well, firstly, there are fuckload of YouTube videos about this, like, that already exists. There is so much content on YouTube about how to be a woman, how to care for your husband, how to be submissive. Like, that is already a very massive thing on this platform. But that aside, make your own coffee. You should know how to look after yourself and cook and clean and do the dishes and all that. Like, those are not difficult skills and you should possess those. You shouldn't spend your entire life relying on someone else to do those things for you. Like, I know how to cook. Sometimes I just don't want to, yeah? And I wake up early and I could make you coffee, but like, I shouldn't have to, you know? Like, you should do things for people because you want to, not because you have to. When I was with my ex, he would wake up early and he would make me coffee sometimes. And then other mornings I would wake up early and I would make him coffee sometimes. Like, it depends on who's waking up and when and what day it is. And like, it's all a bunch of different factors. You kind of just go with the flow and you share responsibility and you do nice things for each other. Sometimes you cook, sometimes they cook. Sometimes you do the dishes, sometimes they do the dishes. You share stuff. Get over it. You should learn those skills yourself. It is not a woman's job. It is everyone's job and everyone should know how to do it. Like, some relationships work where like sometimes one person really likes to cook, so they will do all of the cooking. But that doesn't specifically get delegated, is that the right word? I don't know, to the woman. It can be just whomever. It depends on the relationship and who the people are that you decide the roles that you have in the relationship. I pity everyone who isn't us. My girlfriend between her 25th and 26th orgasm of the night. This reads like someone who has never had sex before writing a pornography. Yeah. I pity everyone who isn't us. My girlfriend said between her 25th and 26th orgasm. I don't think anyone wants to orgasm 25 to 26 times in one night. That sounds like actually painful. Like, you don't need 25 to 26. People aren't, no, most people wouldn't really be into that. Most people don't particularly want to go that many times. And I don't particularly think you want to either. You're just saying shit. I don't think you've ever made a girl come even once, but you know, good job for trying to convince us that you've made one girl come 25 to 26 times, because I don't believe you. This is a tweet by Tim Pool. Start complimenting liberal women by telling them they look like either Dylan Mulvaney or Lizzo. Wow, you're almost as good looking as Lizzo. Okay, so here's the thing. We're not lying when we say that we think Dylan Mulvaney and Lizzo are beautiful, because they are. Like, we're not lying. We're not just saying that. It's because they are genuinely, objectively beautiful people. And I personally just don't think you should be saying you're almost as beautiful as anyone. I don't think we should be saying, like, comparing people's beauty to other people's beauty. We are all beautiful in our own ways. You can say to someone like, oh my gosh, you kind of look a little bit like Dylan Mulvaney. Oh my gosh, you kind of remind me of Lizzo. Like, you can say that, but saying shit like you're almost as beautiful as blank, that's just a really weird and backhanded compliment. It doesn't even matter who you're talking about. Like, I don't care who you're talking about. It's a weird thing to say. I just think that it's really backhanded. You're almost as beautiful as? Saying you're almost as beautiful as anyone is weird. Even saying you're as beautiful as someone is weird. You can just say that they look like someone. Be like, you kind of look like Lizzo. That's a compliment. Or it's not even a compliment. It's just a statement, you know? And like, some people will take it as a compliment, sure. But I think just like making an observation of like, you look like this person, is just like a statement to say. Saying you're as beautiful as this person, I think is weird. Your own type of beautiful. Just say you're beautiful. The definition of down bad. I would jump into an industrial paper shredder so that there's a chance that my body is recycled into toilet paper that you might use. How did your brain come up with that? How did you think of that? That's quite impressive, honestly. That is very, very creative and a horrifying image. I have a really like vivid visual imagination sometimes, and I can like feel the things people say. So like saying like I'll jump into a paper shredder like makes my entire body like you know, it's just not a good visual. It's not a good sensation. I'm not a fan at all. But my God, that's hilarious. That's so funny. Yeah, definition of down bad. Absolutely. My guy. Oh my God. This person tweeted forcing my BF to watch all 5 Twilight movies with me. And someone DM'd them and said, boyfriend or best friend? I really hope this isn't BF as in boyfriend. It's genuinely so fucking disappointing. I don't get why you Twitter girls don't make it obvious you're taken. I literally for 2 weeks would check your tweets for your mental health to see if you're okay. And you have a boyfriend? Is he a Chad? Is he white? People on the internet don't owe you explanations about their relationship status or about anything. They're just existing online and talking about whatever the fuck they want to. And it's really weird of you to constantly be checking on someone without them even knowing who you are because you have this weird idea of being in a relationship with them. Were you ever going to make a move? Were you ever going to ask them out? Or are you just like in this weird spot of wanting to have possession of them and ownership over them without ever talking to them or anything at all? Not that it would have worked out if you did talk to them, but after weeks of just stalking someone and like thinking that they owe you something despite them not even knowing you exist is so, so weird. How dare you have a boyfriend when I am in love with you? It's like, bro, she didn't even know you existed. She didn't even know you existed. She doesn't owe you anything at all. Let alone an explanation, let alone the time of day. She doesn't even owe you the fucking time of day. Please calm down. You don't own anyone and you can't control other people's relationships. Let people exist online. Stop being weird. Okay, I found this video, which is... just watch. So this girl is in like cosplay and she says, I look and act like a real anime waifu, but I hate male anime fans. And a man stitched it and said, you ain't no waifu. Anime girls have self-respect. My waifu would never have an OnlyFans. She's not even old enough to make an account. But you're definitely too old to be single and childless. Clock is ticking. She wears a uniform because she's still in high school. You cosplay as other people because you hate yourself. She's an innocent virgin with a cute laugh. You sell pictures of your vag for $9 a month. Ew. Comparing yourself to my anime waifu is like comparing a bipolar garbage truck to a $3 million Bugatti. No thanks. At the end of the day, e-girls burn in hell. Which, holy shit, one of the worst things I've ever seen. Oh my God. Just like, I love that this girl is like, I cosplay as anime characters, but I hate male anime fans. And he comes in like, I hate you, actually. You're not an anime girl. It's like, so yeah, this is exactly proving the point of the video that she said, that she hates male anime stans. And like, thank you for proving exactly what she was talking about, because you are a pedophile who like hates her for not being a child. Imagine being so like deranged that you go on the internet and fully, without even hesitating, are like, I will never be attracted to you because you are not in high school and wearing a school uniform. What? I'm sorry. Jail. Jail, immediately jail. What the fuck? What the fuck, bro? You can't be on the internet showing off about how you love your anime wife because she's in high school? And you are in love with her because she is an innocent virgin and isn't old enough to have an OnlyFans, and that's what you love about her, that is the most horrifying, screaming red flags ever. Like, to the point where I, like, actually legitimately mean it when I say jail. Like, actually jail. I genuinely hope that you are not allowed within close proximity of children and teenagers. I really, really hope that that is something that, yeah, no, don't be near children. I hope that you aren't allowed near children. I hope that you are on a list, or I hope that you are now, because holy shit, bro. What the actual fuck? And there's so many people like this. I was gonna look into his account because he has a lot of TikToks like this, and I wanted to see what other stuff he said. But his account has been deleted, which is good because, you know, he says a lot of terrible, awful, disgusting shit, obviously. So I won't be looking into his account, which I'm sure you all just sighed a big sigh of relief, as I did too, honestly. I didn't really want to subject myself to that. But there are so many men like this within the anime sphere, and like you see it all the time. And obviously this girl made a TikTok about how she hates male anime stans. It would like more female anime like stans to follow her, because yeah, there are so many of them. A lot of the people who are posted about in this subreddit are like anime stans, but like particularly anime stands for like young girls who are overly sexualized, because that's a really massive problem. And they think that it excuses them being predators because they're fictional. And like, that's a whole different conversation for a whole different video. But like, having the confidence to go on the internet and say that you were like would date a high schooler is like so oh my god, I don't even have the words. Neckbeards. Those alphabet people have such thin skin. Why can't they stop getting mad over such useless things? Neckbeards, when their favorite show features any kind of queer acknowledgement whatsoever, and they are crying and like so upset. This is so true. So many people love to call us snowflakes because we like ask for representation, or because representation is done badly. They're like, snowflakes, you always ask for everything. You're never satisfied. Why do you get offended by everything? And then like something that they mildly disagree with for no reason at all happens, and they throw a fucking hissy fit. It's like we get one gay character and suddenly it's the end of the world. Like who's sensitive? Like, guys, come on. My ideal society is a fusion of Iran and Japan. It would have anime and Japanese girls, but those girls would be governed under Islamic law and wouldn't be able to talk back to the head of their household. The kawaii aspect combined with the female submissiveness would be perfect. That is a horrific thing to read because so many reasons. The like racism, the complete just like removal of culture and humanness from entire countries, the misogyny, everything about this is so horrific, like horrible. Japan isn't one big anime. The women in Japan, Japanese women, aren't anime girls. They are people. They are women. They are real people. And you want to have it under Sharia law, which is not like Islamic values. It is created under Islam. It is instilled in some countries, but it is not agreed upon by all people in those countries. Yeah, it's not something that is universally accepted and applied by all Islamic people. And it is Islamophobic for you to be like, that is what Islam is. That is how it is everywhere, and every single person agrees with every single aspect of it, because that is incorrect. And you are again removing the people and the culture from that specific thing. You want to take the like worst part of this culture and this country and apply it into dehumanizing another country and taking away their entire culture into this fake country. You want to date an actual anime person, someone who doesn't have any autonomy. You don't want them to be a person. You just want to control someone. And that is so terrifying. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's so horrifying. Men are scary. Like, how are people confident enough to just say this shit on the internet? Like, it's wild. People have no shame, no nothing. Like, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't feel comfortable enough to say that. That should be just jail time. I know he hasn't done anything wrong. Well, we don't know he's done anything wrong. I can almost guarantee he has done something wrong. But I don't think he should be allowed outside or around women or Japanese people or Muslim people or anyone. Definitely not around women. Ever. 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 Stay locked up in your room, please. Thank you. With that, I think I'm going to end this video here because I don't want to look at it anymore. I think I'm done. So it's going to end here. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and a comment, subscribe. I'm here twice a week and I would love to see you again. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are up on the screen right now. I appreciate you greatly. And a huge, huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons. Toulousk, Bobby, Josh, Mandy, Robbie, Ikazel, Jessica, Eldo, Ida, Quia Corey, Raven, Danielle, Elias, Evie, Rin, Jewel, Sparrow, Apollo, Tiller's Trying, Matto, and Chris. I love and appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much for joining. If you would like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/SavvyCat or click the link in the description. For as little as £1 a month, you get my videos a day early, as well as podcasts a week early. And then for £3 and up, you get things such as outtakes, bonus mini podcasts, live streams, vlogs, and more. I am currently, while you're watching this, in Seoul, so we will be uploading a Seoul, South Korea vlog onto Patreon if you would be interested in seeing that. So anyway, a massive thank you. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.